Woo. Now this Trailblazer has about 296,000 miles. 296 on the old Trailblazer.
Cut it off.
All right, we got it turned off, and as you can see, this fan right here that's connected to the water pump, it was gyrating, causing the tensioner pulley right where my finger is, that pulley, the tensioner pulley, to jerk and do all that stuff, and it just, man, it was making all kind of rackets and clanking against the motor. So, and I can take my hand and it's just moving, making noise right now. So that's what we're going to look at to replacing that. I went to the parts store. I didn't get the fan clutch, which is on the back side of here, but I got a water pump, and I think that the water pump bearing is what's causing it to wiggle like that. So we're going to just do the water pump, put that on and put the fan back on it, and go from there. And if we have to replace the fan clutch, we're going to order that on. All right, first we're going to take off the negative battery terminal. I've already loosened it with my 8mm. So we're going to disconnect that. I like to wrap it up good with something there. It's going to stay on there. So you're going to unplug this clip from the fan shroud. Just push in and pull off. And don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. Next, we're going to get up under here and drain the cooling system from the bottom radiator hose. Got to put some gloves on. I got my catch pan for the coolant, because the coolant, it's very harmful to the environment. So make sure you try to catch all the coolant you can and put it back probably in a coolant bottle and dispose of it properly. You can go online to figure out where to take your old coolant and to dispose of it properly, but don't let it spill on the ground and go into the ground. Bang. When I opened up the cap last night, I noticed that there wasn't any coolant that I could see from above. What in the world is that inside of there? But anyway, so there were no coolant in there. I didn't see that last night. Didn't see all this crap. I don't know what that is, man. And I opened the cap up, and the cap's not looking too healthy there, but we're gonna try it. See if we can get it back on the road here. Maybe get some more miles, hit 300,000 miles in it. All right, so the next step, we're gonna try to loosen this, the shroud off the water pump, off this pulley here. I rented something from the local parts stores called a fan clutch removal tool, and it comes with different size wrenches in there to take off this tool, and I'll show you that in a minute. But we're going to try to break it loose right here. We're going to turn it counterclockwise, which is going to go toward the passenger side, from the driver's side to the passenger side, to try to break it loose. We're going to do that. Then we're going to take the top radiator hose off. 1, 2, remove it. We're going to take these 10mm bolts that's holding the shroud to the radiator. One on the passenger, one on the driver's side. We've already disconnected this clip. Then we're going to remove these 2 bolts that's holding the radiator to the frame here. We got one look like a 13mm, like both of them look like 13mm. And that's what we're going to do next. All right, here's the fan clutch removal kit from the local store. They got different sizes. Look at this one, this sugar, 83mm. That can probably almost fit my whole thigh there. The 83, I think the GMC's calls for the 36mm, which is the smallest one, is in this kit. So as you can see, That's probably about maybe 15 inches long. It's got a 36 millimeter and that was got a 48 on the bottom. We're gonna try to see if it fits. Get out of here, Buck. But yeah, we got the 36 millimeter on there. It fits pretty snug. There's a little slack in it. Not sure if this is exactly the same exact size it needs, but I think it'll get the job done. Someone said that you can use a 1 7/16. But since the parts store had this, I just rented it for 60 bucks. I'll take it back later on, get my money back, and keep on rolling. And hit that like and subscribe button. Go ahead and smash it. Subscribe for more. All right, we got the fan clutch loosened on here. We got that nut, the 36 millimeter nut loosened. And what I had to do to get it loosened, I tried it and I thought the belt may have been tight enough to hold it in place, but with this wrench, I just used the 13 millimeter. It's only about 6 inches long, 13 millimeter wrench. I slid it on one of these bolts here, like that. And I just turned the big wrench counterclockwise and held the wrench tight on there, and it broke loose. So we're gonna spin it on and off now. I cannot find my shallow 10 millimeters. Pretty long bolts right there. Taking this top radiator hose off. I've already loosened it up. On the bottom, I did go ahead and fully tighten the bottom radiator hose after I drained it, so that was already fully tightened. We're going to go ahead and take this hose off, and then I think these hoses down here were supposed to be connected right here, but I think someone has already I'm sure they've already changed. All right, got the hose off. We got the bolts removed right here. So what we're going to do is try to pull the radiator forward maybe a little bit. All right. We got the fan out. As I saw this earlier, but it seems like someone has already taken the shroud out, and they made a notch to go over the neck for the top radiator hose neck that connects to the radiator. Somebody already made a notch in it, and it helped out. I can't lie, it did help out. But I was able to maneuver it out and just pull the whole thing out there. And so, yeah. And be careful and not to gouge your radiator when you're pulling that shroud out, because these radiator fins, these aluminum fins, are very fragile. So you want to be very gentle and aware that you're not getting close to the fins there and gouging it, because that will it possibly cause leaks and additional money and overheating issues. So, but yeah, we've got the fan out. We're going to unloosen these bolts a little bit, then we're going to take off the belt in that order. Somehow the first two bolts came off, they broke fairly easy. Then the next two were very hard to get off. But this is the Rocket City Tech. We're coming live from Huntsville, Alabama. The other two I was going in the wrong direction, so hey, it happens to the best of us. Gonna loosen them up a little bit. These are 13 millimeter, as we discussed earlier. Next, we're going to take off this belt using that tensioner and make sure we get a good look at the diagram of the serpentine belt here. So look like it goes over the power steering pump, the pulley, the crank, down to the AC compressor, down to a little pulley there, to the alternator, and back over to the power steering pump. All right, so my tensioner there, I just got my breaker bar here. It's a 3/8 breaker bar. It slides right in there. There you go. Just push down on it and see all that tension. I probably could do it one hand. Let me see. Oh, one hand. got the belt off there. And so I took the belt completely off, got it out of the way, because when we take the water pump out, we're sure some antifreeze is going to leak out and don't want that getting on the belt. So we took it completely off, and that way I can look at it and examine it should I replace it. You know, it's been wobbling, no telling how long, but it looks fairly decent. I'm gonna slap it back on there and see what we got going on there. I took my gloves off. Hey, you know, it is what it is sometimes, you know, when you're working this camera. Whew, man, so I got the pulley off. It didn't want to come off, so I had to use that same 36 millimeter wrench. I used it to kind of just gently pry it off, rock it from each side, take it off, man, and look on top of the water pump. Look in here. Yeah, I'm going to clean all of this up, man. I'm going to clean that crap out. I'm going to clean this off before I take the water pump off, of course. You don't want that getting in your block there, so we're going to clean it off, maybe get the old air compressor out, blow it off, make sure you get the top there, and then take some soap and water and degreaser, clean this off, possibly get a little Brillo pad or something like that to clean all that crap out. Now on the water pump, I think you got 5 10 millimeter bolts, and I always take my bolts off and put them on in kind of the same pattern, kind of a star pattern. I know some people just go in order until they get ready to torque them, but I always like to do it in star. So I'm gonna take them off in a star pattern. Probably start right, and 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, then 5, and if it's a 6, I'll get it. Also, put my drain pan back under there. It's already down there, so catch the excess. All right, got all the screws loose. They're still hanging in there. They're fully loose, and I can see that they look like they're all the same length. But what I like to do when I take something off, I like to keep the bolts in their slots, just in case you have some that are longer or shorter than the other there. But these all look the same. I will match it up with my new water pump here and make sure it matches up correctly. But as you can see, a little corrosion on some of those bolts there. Came out at all from the water pump. But we're going to clean this surface area up, get like a Brillo pad and some soap and water or something like that to just clean it. All right, we've got 2 different water pumps here. As you can see, they match up well. This is the correct water pump. This has a little safety cap on it to protect your thread, so make sure you take that cap off. Some of them are red, some of them are yellow. This is black. Take it off before you put it in there. This actually comes with its gasket in it. I got it from the local parts store. It was about maybe 40, 50 bucks, something like that. That's the regular price. But yeah, we were there all the time, so we get a little bit better price. But yeah, I can definitely tell this is my issue. It wasn't anything to do with the fan clutch, but this is definitely an issue. I can see on here, definitely feel the wobble and hear it. This one, no wobble, no noise. This is it. So maybe with 50 bucks or so, we can get this old Blazer back on the road here and see what we got going on. All right, got the mating surface there fairly clean. Used a light Brillo pad with some soap and a little degreaser in it. Didn't want to go at it too hard. You don't want to put any big gashes in there or any gashes in there, because you can cause cause it not to seal with the gasket. Then you have a leak after you put it back on. So use a little Brillo pad, big old tub. I probably use all kind of, yeah, use that nice and soft. And all right, so I got it on there. I got 2 bolts in it right now loosely, one at the top and one down there. I'll put the other 3 in, And like I said, I'll do it in a cross pattern. Go from this one to the bottom one up here to down here to this one, and I'll do it where they're finger tight only. I get them finger tight, and then I'll go to the torque spec. But on the water pump, it's a very, very low torque spec that connects to the water pump to the block. I think it's like maybe around 10 pounds. You have to look it up, but it's 89 Nm pounds. Now, if you go from 89 Nm pounds, you can go to a calculator and figure that out. But I think it's around 10 pounds a foot of torque here, so it's not much. So be careful. You don't want to snap one of those off. Believe me, I've never done it before, but I don't want to start today. So I'm going to cross thread it finger tight first. Then I'm going to go back with the torque. And then the pulley that goes over here with the 4 bolts right here, that torque is 18 pounds foot. It's 18 pounds foot on that the pulley there. Matter of fact, I got to clean that also. And the fan with the big 36 millimeter nut that we took off earlier. Just be mindful when you're threading them in. Like I said, do not thread any of them all the way in until you get all of them at least halfway in, and then start hand tighten them until you get close to the base. Because I had an issue with it, wanted to feel like it was cross threading there, and so I had to kind of move the water pump around a little bit and back a few of them out, and I tried to use my impact. So I stopped using that and just went back to my hand and got it in there. So I did not use a torque because I don't think my torque goes down to 10. Man, do y'all remember what this fan clutch, what this pulley looked like? Look at there. Used the same formula, same material, kind of just scuffed it out, got all that crap out. All right, got the pulley back on there, put the bolts back on it. Before I torqued it down, I put the serpentine belt back on. I totally forgot how it went on, but I figured it out without having to go back and look. But got the serpentine belt on, you know, just adjust, take slack off the tensioner there. Put the belt on exactly where it went off, and I'm pretty sure that's on correct because it fits nice and snug. So now we're going to go ahead and torque it down. Got the old handy dandy torque wrench from a local store. Okay, we just done 15 pounds for the torque. Now we moved up to about 18, 19. And the belt's holding it on there fairly snug. It's a little movement, but the belt's doing a pretty good job. All right. I'm going to let you know, when you put the fan back in, you got 2 slots down there at the bottom of the radiator. One on that side, one on that side. And then you have at the bottom of the fan shroud, you got those marks right there that goes in those holes. So just make sure you line it up with that when you put it back in. All right, got the fan in. It went in fairly easy. Had to do a little, take my time and make sure not to gouge the radiator there, but it kind of went in. Took me about a minute to get it in. No big deal. You can't really tell if those plugs are going in the hole down there. So what I did, I got up under the car, had to verify for myself that they went back in their position, so nothing will be out of line. You don't want anything rubbing us up against something that just because it's not aligned in there. So we got that in there. I'll tell you what, whoever cut this hole out in here, it really helped me out. I can't lie. That helped me out to get that shroud over this part without really moving that any. So that helped out. We're going to put the 10 millimeter back here, 10 millimeter right here on this side, connecting the fan shroud to the radiator. We're going to hook up the fan, the radiator fan, the electrical unit, which is right here. We're going to, matter of fact, let's hook it up now. Bam, hooked up. And we're going to put these 2 13 millimeter bolts back in. We're going to put the this upper radiator hose back in, fasten it down, tighten it down. Got the fasteners on this side. Got the fasteners right there, so we're going to fasten it back down. Oh, definitely got to tighten this up right here. We got it on there. We're going to tighten it up. It says 20 pounds foot of torque. I don't know how I'm going to do that to get it exactly there, but I probably won't. We're going to get it nice and snug on there, And if I have any issues, I'll let you know on tightening that down. Then we'll hook the battery back up. Then we will see what is going on in the Rocket City. All right. Well, it's about 2 hours later. Trying to install this fan back onto the water pump. And what had happened was I ended up stripping the fan where it screws onto the water pump. Trying to get it on there, man, it is hard to get it on there. It's extremely hard to get it on there. And so I end up stripping the actual fan. The water pump is still good. The threads on that's good. So I bought this as a parts vehicle, but I end up taking parts off of the Envoy and using it on here. So I just want to see if it fixes it. But I got the fan on here. It took some finagling. I had to put it on at a weird angle and kind of tilt it and put it on from the back. It's tough. I'm dreading putting one back on the other one, but it was tough. And so I'm gonna probably run to the junkyard, get one for that one, or I might just order a new one. They're only like 30 bucks online. Whew. Now we're about to fire up, put some coolant in here and fire up. All right, so let's fire up. Yeah, might want to connect the battery. All right, let's try this again. Man, sounds better so far. There's no moving. Water pump pulley, tensioner. You should be able to spin it on just by the fan. There you go, it's tight. And we'll go back on with the clutch toolkit wrench and tighten it up a little bit. That should be good on that.